Warm greetings from sunny Cyprus. Top row I have basil. The next one I'm not quite tall enough to show you where it is, but somewhere in there is some parsley coming up. Then we've alternated again with basil, alternated with parsley. This one's doing quite well. And yes, they're all going to be labelled as these are for our guests and volunteers, and again alternated with some more basil. These are on the top row because these obviously are going to get bigger, and also they keep bugs away because the shower is behind, so it will keep bugs away that like to find the water, like mosquitoes. Then the next row we have nothing in either end, but in the middle three I have done my new Malabar spinach that I rooted from the mother plant, which is in the hugelkultur bed. So these are the newer, smaller ones that were rooted. And one there. The next row down for now I've grown radish. I was looking for small things that don't need to root very much. So we have lots of radish, more radish, more radish, not so many of those coming up. I must have run out of seeds when I got to that bag. More radish. And more radish, and nothing will go to waste because if they're ready and we have no guests coming, then obviously we're going to eat them. And I went a bit crazy on the bottom row with lettuce seeds. I had a big envelope full of seeds I'd harvested last year from my lettuce, so I wanted to empty that out because obviously with lettuce seeds, when you harvest them, you get a lot of let's say grassy bits or whatever, the sort of corny bits. So I wanted to use the bag up and discover how many actual seeds there were. I wasn't going to clean every single seed for myself, so I literally shook them in. So yes, these will need to be thinned out, but at least they will grow. I can transplant them elsewhere. And the last of the seeds, and I did have one random rosa lettuce. These are ones that go red, so I put that in there. So that is the start of our growing wall. This is the other area I've nearly finished for the guest. I've course they can come and pick our pomegranates and other fruit as well, but it's nice if they have an area of their own. Here I want to put a small bushing fruit, so I don't want a tree. We can't get raspberries or blackberries here, which would have been something quite nice to maybe do and keep small. So if any of you have got ideas for that, I'm in Cyprus and it gets very hot, but I've filled that with some manure and some of my compost, and I'll keep watering it until I find something to go in there. So any ideas on that? I'd like kind of a tropical fruit really, but that doesn't really grow into a tree. I've looked at dwarf fruit plants, and they actually grow sort of about 6 feet. Well, that's, I don't want a tree here. I'm thinking something like gooseberry bush. I don't know. So if you've got any ideas, put them in the comments below. They always had their tomato plants here. These come up each year because I always drop some tomatoes back in for them to reseed. And they've got tomatoes coming, lots of different varieties. So they might find a special variety there they like. I've put coriander in this pot. I've sown seeds of coriander. And here I've got a mixture of peppers, chilies and mini munch. So that's something they won't have to wait to grow, the mini munch, rather than actual cucumbers, which I've got elsewhere. And sometimes the guests might only be here a couple of nights, so they might not want a whole cucumber, even though they have a fridge. They might not want that, so I thought mini munch might be a good idea. So as I say, I've alternated the pepper and the chilies, and then I've got mini munch between, as I say, peppers and chilies. Mini munch, there is one in there. There's actually probably a few in there. I've got to water them, and alternated the pepper and chilies. And then finally down here is made these little tile growing areas within this is a very steep slope, hence why we've put this here. And oh, he's doing very well. This is basil. I think I need to put the tops out of those. Basil and Malabar spinach. Just trying to think things they can use to cook with and spice up and whatever. This is Malabar spinach, and then I thought parsley would be good for them as well. That's a weed there, so parsley be good for their cooking. So look out for updates of other areas of my garden. As I say, this is really for the guest area.